I have a question already from Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle Rasmussen, Executive Intelligence Review from Washington. I actually have two questions. One is that in Iceland, 2 days ago, the resolution for a bank separation between regular banking and investment banking should not be, the speculative should not at all be under the same roof as a way of dealing with the crisis. This was taken up and is supported by most of the parliamentarians. It will probably come up for a vote in the end of November. And the initiative taker, Elfheiður Ingridóttir, who will be at the Nordic Council meeting, has said in an interview that she would like this to be discussed on the Nordic level. So will you be open to an alternative to bailing out the speculative values and austerity budget cuts and instead having something like a bank separation policy? And then the second question is, you mentioned a couple times that the Cold War is over, yet since the end of the Cold War, right now we're at the most tense international strategic situation with the Syria-Iran crisis, with tensions between China and Japan, also the Russians being very upset about the missile defense program. And in fact, one of the parliamentarians in Russia, Fyodorov of Putin's party, said that things are so destabilized that he's saying that we're going towards an inevitable world war because these different crises are moving towards one. So will the Nordic countries be working towards a military solution in the Middle East of having arming the rebels and establishing a military, by military means, no-fly zone, etc., attacking in Iran, or will the Nordic countries try to work for a diplomatic solution, including work around Arctic and economic development?
These are very good questions, and I would like to know the answers myself. When it comes to banks, the decisive aspect is confidence. And I hope that the Icelandic bank system will keep the confidence it has gradually built up. But I have certainly no comment at this stage to what the Icelandic policy will end up being. So I'm sorry, I cannot.
But they're proposing it for all the Nordic countries.
Yes, well, at the outset, I'm skeptical. But I'm for a European banking union. I'm more interested in that aspect because I think that's very important in the future, and also for Denmark to participate in it. That's what's important for us. It's true that the world is not altogether peaceful, but the Soviet Union had disappeared, and thereby it has been possible for Finland, and therefore also for Sweden, to participate in foreign and defense policies which were earlier out of the question. So it's the disappearance of the Soviet Union, and as far as I know, that has not been re-established. But Mr. Enestam is former defense minister in Finland. He knows more about this than I do. We are, I think you are aware that the Nordic countries are very active in peace creating and peacekeeping missions all over the world. And we will continue to be so, and I think we are very interested in cooperating as much as we can when we do these actions outside our border. The new Danish defense is really not anymore aimed at keeping an enemy off our borders. It's aimed at doing something in the international community, far away from Denmark, which was unbelievable just a few decades ago, but now it's supported by virtually everyone in this country. Even though we have the highest death toll compared to population of all countries in Afghanistan.
Well, first I think it's proper to say that foreign and defense policy is not part of the formal Nordic cooperation. It's informal and it's good, but trying to answer your question, it's very much my own opinion, of course. The Nordic countries traditionally are in favor of diplomatic solutions with UN mandate, and I don't see. I think it would be possible for any military activity from Nordic countries without a UN resolution. And I think that the threshold will be very, very high to intervene militarily.
I absolutely agree. We have in November a conference on Nordic defense cooperation here in the Danish Parliament. But I want to underline, we are not talking about common defense policy. We're talking about how we can assist each other. And for instance, common surveillance of Iceland. And in the Thorvald Stoltenberg report, you can read what kind of cooperation we are talking about. His 13 points. So don't exaggerate. We are individual countries. We have different policies. Some are in NATO, some are not in NATO. Some are in the EU, some are not in the EU. But still, we can cooperate when we participate in peacekeeping missions. We can cooperate when it comes to the Arctic area. We can cooperate when it comes to education, as Thorvald Stoltenberg proposes, when it comes to renovation, practice, etc. of the armed forces. So don't exaggerate. We are very pragmatic, and I liked very much what Newsweek wrote about the Nordic countries at some point when they had a long section about the Arctic area. And they mentioned all the potential tensions that could arise in that area. And then the conclusion was that thanks to the relaxed Scandinavians, it would probably be solved peacefully altogether. That, I think, was the greatest compliment we could get. Thanks to the relaxed Scandinavians, it would probably be solved peacefully. I think that is absolutely right. I can add that the foreign ministers will discuss, and that's a reply to you, the foreign ministers will discuss Syria and the Middle East at their meeting in Helsinki. And in the presidium of the Nordic country, we will have a meeting with them about all sorts of subjects, as we also have a meeting with the prime ministers.